Sledaddicz is brought to you by Team Vincent Motorsports, Bergstrom Carbides, Ledger Performance, Ultimax Belts, Stud Boy Studs, and Radio World. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. One of the things that's always been on my mind is, we're riding a lot of these remote areas, whether we're on the sled, whether we're in the groomer, it's always about safety. And what we've noticed as we go further north into northern Ontario, further north into northern Quebec, there's no cell signal in a lot of these places that we're riding. And in the back of my head, I always wonder, if something were to happen, how the heck am I going to get in touch with somebody for help? And, years back when I was riding, probably early days riding up in Cochrane, Ontario, I was out there one day with my dad. We were riding the trails and we had a mishap. I actually ended up smashing a rock with my sled, had to leave it in the bush. I had a GPS on me. I marked where the location was and we had to double back to town in order to get help and come back out to get the sled. And, in a lot of the time that we were actually out in the backcountry there, we absolutely had no cell signal. So when it happened, we couldn't call anybody to actually come out and get us. And can't even get to 911 if you don't have, any signal. So, one of the things I've been thinking about as I get older now, and I'm kind of in my early 40s, it's all about safety, right? And if I'm in these remote areas and something were to happen, how am I going to message people, call people, get in touch with people, get in touch with the police if I need to? And one of the things I've been talking to Jesse a lot about is the Spot unit. And we finally went out and picked up a Spot X unit. Kenny actually from the Polar Bear Club runs these in the groomers. And I personally feel like as I get older, things can happen. I just really want to make sure that somebody can actually get in touch with me, or I can get in touch with somebody while I'm out here riding in the middle of nowhere. And these Spot devices are the answer. This is a really wicked little device that I'm going to keep in my sled at all times. You charge it up, you sign up for a service. It's a monthly fee that you pay. I think we pay about, $15 a month for the service. And what it does is it gives you a certain amount of messages that you can send out to anybody that you have preloaded onto the device from anywhere you are out in the middle of the bush. And that to me is a huge peace of mind, knowing that if something were to happen, I can actually get in touch with somebody using this little device. So what we've done is we actually set it up last night. We preloaded 4 or 5 contacts from our family, from Jesse's family, from my family, just so that in case we're out here right now, we've got absolutely no signal. We need to get in touch with them. You can even do like this thing called a check-in, where you just check in, it sends a message through satellite and lets them know that you're okay, everything's fine. And there's, like I said, about 10 pre-recorded messages that you can set up, and you can do it via SMS or you can do it via email as well. The other thing that's really cool with this is you can actually send the location details along with that message as well. So when that person receives the message, let's say I send the message to my wife letting her know that, hey, everything's okay, I'm on an adventure, and she opens up that message in email or SMS format, she can click a link that will actually show where my location is at that time. I think that's an amazing feature, and for me, again, we spent all this money on sledding. This gives me a peace of mind that if anything were to ever happen, not even necessarily like a crash or even if it's a health problem, right? That I can always get in touch with somebody. The other thing that's amazing about this is it has a built-in SOS button. So if you hit this SOS button, it will automatically send that signal to 911 and send them the location of where you are at that time. So again, it's an immediate emergency service contact, which again, I think is hugely important when you're out here and you really have no connection. So if you come and zoom in with the camera here, I'll just show you, this is the main menu. So you've got messages, you've got create a message, you've got contacts, you've got that check-in feature, and you've got the, this is just switching some of the different intervals for the unit, and then your navigation, and then your settings as well. Now, if you click in here, you can see we've already got Jesse's dad, I've got Jesse in here, I've got my dad, and I've got my wife in here, just in case they're preloaded contacts that automatically will sync through the app on the web, which is great. And if I were to be out here and I needed something happened and I need to send a message, you just go into messages and you've got some options, whether you choose a predefined message or you create your own message. You can see that's a test message that I sent Jesse a couple of minutes ago. And again, just a really handy little device that I just think if things were to happen, because things do happen, and we spend a lot of time riding out in the middle of nowhere, this really could be a lifeline one day that, you know, anybody would be, I'm sure, happy to have. So I'm really excited. I'm pretty happy that we actually finally made the plunge, because we've been talking about this for a few years, to make sure that we're actually carrying one of these this year. And I just think it's super important to be thinking about having these from a safety perspective when you're out in the middle of the bush. All right, well, that takes care of it. Again, I really hope I actually don't have to use this thing this year, but it comes with a nice little carabiner as well. This is always going to be packed in my trail pack on the sled. I hope you guys learned something. Not sure how many folks actually know about these spot units, but hopefully it was valuable to you. And if, again, you feel like you might need something to have on you at all times, this is a great little unit to pick up. And I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.